Well, hey, it's good to see you again. My name is Jaded Ben, and welcome back to another Wax Showcase video. Where are my manners? This is for you. Will you be my Valentine? Yeah, just put that back there.
Oh look, it's death metal drum fail.
At least I don't have to AI generate any roses to get people to love me. It's Valentine's Day. Hope you're having a wonderful day with your loved ones or whether you're alone. Hey, I'm glad you're here with me today, no matter how your day goes. We still got a lot of awesome records to talk about, but first we're going to talk about what's playing in my tape deck just right over here today, and that's going to be my good friends in Viscerat. This is Pustule Zygote, released in 2024 independently. I had the pleasure of catching them just a couple of weeks ago at the Hotel Vegas in Austin, Texas, headlining on a little showcase for Blind Dogs booking out of Dallas, Texas. I'd also seen them once before in October of 2023, opening for my dudes in Skeleton. I picked this up at their merch table not too long ago, and this features some excellent death metal tracks on here, such as Submerged in Necrosis, Primitive Kill Compulsion, Pustule Zygote, and Quantum Immortality, much of which we saw last time, and as you can see in all of its glory, mine is signed by the lovely gentlemen of Viscerat. We're going to have a full set of theirs up in the very, very near future, but in the meantime, if you have the pleasure of going and catch them live here in Texas, highly recommend you do so. Tell them Jaded Ben sent you. Viscerat with Pustule Zygote playing in the background just right over here today. We start today's Wax Showcase video with easily one of the most romantic records in my collection. Something you can put on in the background while you pour yourself a little red wine and cuddle with your significant other by the fireplace. I'm talking about Angelic with Picnic of Love, released in 1998 on Earache Records, later reissued in 2019 on Anti-Corp Records. Just an absolutely hilarious record from start to finish. I definitely do not take this record seriously, and neither should you, but I'm glad to have it on vinyl either way, because it's easily just one of the most funny... It's dry humor at its best. It's so good. That is right. We got sensitive Seth Putnam and gentle Josh Martin coming together with an absolutely interesting set of tracks on here that feature a lot of singer-songwriter and some of the most majestic vocals I've ever heard in my entire life. And as you can see, look at these beautiful, beautiful gentlemen, and look at that little cat there too. How can you not take these guys seriously? They're so sensitive. We got some really funny tracks on here, such as the title track, Picnic of Love. I respect your feelings as a woman and a human. I want to grow old with you. I'd love to have your daughter's hand in marriage, and my woman, my lover, my friend. Just an absolutely interesting turn in the band's discography. I talked about one of their bootlegs in a bootleg breakdown episode a long time ago. I've got a bunch of their other stuff, so this was kind of a worthy piece to have. This was reissued in Record Store Day 2019. We'll get to the variant here in just a moment, but this record only got reissued, I believe, once prior, and that was in 2013 off the top of my head, and it's extremely hard to find on that pressing, so I was very happy that this did eventually get reissued. Also, one of the coolest vinyl variants that I do have, it comes on this lovely pink vinyl, but if you look close enough on the edge there, I'll start to try to get it. That might be the best we're going to get there. It's got little hearts etched around the top edge of the record itself. This was limited to 1,000 copies. I picked this up at Waterloo Records probably a good 3 or 4 years ago, coming up on. I got this for a very decent price. I know it's starting to gain in value over the last couple of years, but definitely an absolutely awesome record, and I figured what better episode to show it off than the Valentine's Day special here on the Jaded Ben channel. Angelic with Picnic of Love. In all seriousness, I really did want to talk about a record that I did actually think would fit in for Valentine's Day. Not that it wouldn't fit in for Valentine's Day, but I do have a better selection. I'm talking about Nat King Cole with Unforgettable, released in 1952 on Capitol Records, later reissued in 2017 on UME and Capitol Records. Nat King Cole, easily one of my favorite non-metal musicians of all time. His voice is like absolute butter. I talked about him a little bit in the Metal Tag 2026. Funny enough, Marty Worm was not expecting anyone to pick anybody like that on that challenge for favorite non-metal records in your collection. So I picked this up at Waterloo Records on January 1st of 2026. Just an absolutely incredible record that features some of my favorites, including Too Young, Unforgettable, For Sentimental Reasons, Portrait of Jenny, What I'll Do, and Answer Me, My Love. Just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful record. A bunch of these tracks have been in my night tracking playlist for the better part of 3 or 4 months, and it definitely got me through some of the darker holiday season, and just happy to have some of his classic material on vinyl. We're 0 for 2 on records with inserts on this particular episode, but the particular variant is just a standard, classic, black 12-inch record, once again reissued in 2017 on Capitol Records. I believe there was a 180-gram reissue of this. I believe that was in like 2015 or so. I'll put it on screen there if I can find it. Again, this is the 2017 reissue. I don't know if this got reissued after the fact. It might have been like a 2021 or 2022 version. Once again, I'll put that on screen if I can find it. This didn't really cost me all that much, but I'm still on the lookout for some more Nat King Cole material. There's some material that he did for a screenplay back in the 50s that I'm still kind of keeping an eye out for. But in the meantime, I've still got some of my favorites on here, and I'm definitely going to be sure to spin this on Valentine's Day by myself or with a significant other. Who knows? Maybe. Nat King Cole with Unforgettable. Alright, let's kind of get away from all the sappy bullshit. Let's get into some heavy stuff. Got a record here that I picked up not too long ago. As a matter of fact, I picked this up while we were seeing the band Exporter. I got a notification that this record went up for sale at a very good price. And the reason I mention this is because it was in my records that I'm in search for video that I dropped late last year. So we're checking off a big one off of the list this year. Starting off, I am talking about Immolation with Providence, released in 2011 on Scion Audio Visual Music. This is the very first vinyl pressing, and I can't believe I actually have this. As I mentioned in the video, there was this pressing, and then there's a San Diego Comic-Con pressing. I'm still keeping an eye out for that one. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I own a CD version. I own a tape bootleg from a couple of years ago, but hey, it is so cool to finally see this in my collection. I've only seen the song What They Bring live, but some other tracks on here, such as Still Lost, Providence, and Swallow the Fear being some incredible tracks on here as well. I honestly argue that this is some of Immolation's best work to date, and just absolute technical wizardry. Robert Vigna is still one of my favorite guitar players of all time. I love the little like thrills and trills that he does up on the fretboard and throwing his hands around. I have no idea how the man does it. It makes the riffing that he does sound so good. Ross Dolan's vocals on here are absolutely fucking monstrous, especially hearing the song What They Bring in a live context. We saw them with Cannibal Corpse playing that song, but we did later see them on at the Mohawk in Austin, Texas in 2023. We're overdue, I feel like, for yet another performance of them here in Austin, Texas at some point or another, but it was still just an absolutely incredible performance, and actually getting to see a song off of this to some degree is just incredible, because I have loved this EP ever since I had heard about Immolation back in 2016. No insert for this one again, but we've got just the standard black vinyl variant with the printed inner labels that feature the war planes on the front there. I don't believe there was a limitation specified for this, but of course if I can find one, I will put it on screen for you. This particular record I have seen fetch in the ballpark of $160 to $200. I will tell you, I paid nowhere near that. And the really issue thing is I got it used, of course, with some minor ring wear on the jacket, and just this itty bitty quarter ding on the top there. Horror, Pain, Gore, Death Records sold this to me for an absolutely incredible price, and I was not going to pass it up because the rest of the people listening to this are absolute fucking scalpers. So, still cool to have anyways. We're checking that off the list, and we'll be going back over this again hopefully later this year when we talk about even more records that I'm in search of. Immolation with Providence. We're going to end this particular episode with two really cool editions of two really awesome records that you should definitely check out if you have not heard them. This first one, though, I'm pretty confident you have heard. I'm talking about Incantation with Onward to Golgotha, released in 1990 on Relapse Records, later reissued in 2025 on Relapse Records as well. I got the box set version that came out earlier this year, or late last year, I mean, but comes with a couple of records on here. Onward to Golgotha, Onward to Golgotha Live, and we've got 2 little 7 inches in here, but which we will go over in just a second. Easily one of the best death metal debuts in United States history. One of my favorite death metal records of all time, bar none. This is basically what every cavernous death metal in the game right now wishes to achieve, and I don't think anybody has ever come as close to the sound as Incantation themselves. Their first couple records are easily some of my favorites ever, so it's really, really cool to have. It comes in this awesome like clamshell box with the foil on the front as well. We're going to go over the records individually so that we can all talk about them and see what we got. We have the standard album, once again released in 1990. Some awesome tracks on here such as Devour Death, Rotting Spiritual Embodiment, Entrapment of Evil, Profanation, and Deliverance of Horrific Prophecies. I've seen a couple of these tracks live. I believe those were Rotting Spiritual Embodiment and Blasphemous Cremation. We have seen them twice now. We saw them in 2022 headlining at Come and Take It Live in Austin, Texas, and we saw them in 2023 headlining with Suffocation at the Paper Tiger in San Antonio. The Paper Tiger in San Antonio show being one of my absolute favorite shows of all time because of the amount of guests that appeared on that and the amount of cool moments that happened and some of the rowdiest crowd I've ever seen. I'll put some of that footage on screen for you if I can go ahead and find it. Big ol' insert for this one, including a bunch of photos and some collages from the band circa 1990. Lovely tricolor merge with splatter variant for that one. Next, we got the brand new Onward to Golgotha live record that dropped in 2025. Not only as a part of this box set, but later also just as a standalone release, which is really, really cool. This features them playing in 1992 at several venues in New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. The lineup on this is John McEntee, Craig Hillard, Ronnie Dio, and Jim Rowe. No, not that Ronnie Dio. I'm talking about Ronnie Dio that played in this band in the very, very early years of Incantation. Just an absolutely really cool, like, band recordings and stuff. I think some of these are actual mixed quality, which is really, really cool, but it's basically just playing this whole album. I think minus maybe like 2 songs on there. I'll put them on screen, of course, if I can remember what those songs are. But still really cool to hear the band in their prime playing these songs as well. Once again, cool tricolor splatter edition vinyl for that. I will show you the label just to prove that this is a different record altogether. Finally, we have some cool 7-inch reissues of both Entrapment of Evil and Deliverance of Horrific Prophecies. These both came out right before the album on Relapse Records as well. It was really cool to actually see these get reissued in some form because I've actually been trying to track down some original copies of this. I'm still trying to track down some of those original copies, but having the cool reissues as part of this box set is really, really cool as well. I don't think these had any particular exclusive tracks to the record as far as I know. Maybe Unholy Massacre on this one, but once again, I will double check on that. Once again, there's a different sort of lineup for this one. For example, Entrapment of Evil has Will Raymer of Mortician fame on vocals on this one, where I believe, John McEntee does the vocals on Deliverance of Horrific Prophecies as well. So just a really, really cool alternate timeline for Incantation if Will Raymer had stuck around and McEntee starting to take over vocals in the very, very early days of the band itself. Y'all might be sensing a pattern for this one. Tricolor merge with splatter for not only Entrapment of Evil, but also Deliverance of Horrific Prophecies. This entire box set featured the same variant. It was limited to 535 copies on relapse.com. Of course, the live record would go on to make a standalone release as well. They would reissue the standard album as well. Those 2 7-inches are exclusive to this box set, at least in that colorway. Once again, just a cool box set. I'll leave a link to it in the description if it's still available. If it is still available, highly recommend buying it, checking it out, and listening to a little more Incantation in 2026. Incantation, Onward to Golgotha. Last but certainly not least, we got one more record to end it off today, and we're going to be talking about a really, really cool record featuring a dude from the band Mugshot. I believe this is the only release of this band, and I don't know if the band is called It Quits or not, but this did just get reissued, so I figured I'd talk about it. I'm talking about Mensis. Life is a Nightmare, released in 2017 on Chugcore Records, later reissued in 2025 on Wax Vessel Records. We got a lovely new packaging and everything for it as well. absolutely incredible work by the Wax Vessel team and the gentleman behind Mugshot. I'm going to go ahead and leave his name on the description there because it is just eluding me at the moment. But just really awesome hardcore deathcore record from the late 2000s that definitely was not on my radar before, but I'm glad it is now. Wax Vessel just does not miss, folks. Got some awesome tracks on here such as Judas Cradle, Try Hard, featuring the band Low Roads, Castrate Rapists, and Unlovable, because rapists are unlovable. That's just a given in society, isn't it? Got a lovely insert sheet right here for you that includes a bunch of the lyrics and the credits itself on the inside there. And I will say the particular variant for this one is stunning. It is Wax Vessel, so it is a Wax Mage signature. This is the Chroma. This is the Frat Boy variant, which was limited to 50 copies. They do theirs kind of based on like number of desirability. There were 5 of these different signature variants. This is signature number 2 of 5. I believe this is the Frat Boy variant, one of my coolest records in my collection. Also, it is numbered on the back. I have number 187, but these are numbered sequentially by Wax Mage themselves. Just an awesome record. These are long sold out, so if you can find a copy, definitely recommend checking it out if you can, if you have the money, if you have the funds, if you have the time to find one. Go ahead, highly recommend it. Mensis, life is a nightmare. And that is going to wrap it up for today's episode. I hope everybody has a wonderful Valentine's Day. Whether you are, again, by yourself or you have a significant other, I'm glad you're here with me. I'm glad you're here watching my videos. We recently passed 125 subscribers. We are on the way to 150. I'm going to do another poll coming up here in the very, very near future about what you guys want me to talk about when we hit 200 subscribers, because I need to start thinking about that. I need to start coming up with some more stuff. I've got some more series planned. I've got some more lists coming up in the very, very near future, and a whole bunch of concert footage from the very end of January, very beginning of February to show you. So, in the meantime, stay safe, stay metal, and I'll see you next time.